from blindsonline.com, and I'm here today to show you how to measure for your window blinds. The first thing that we'd like to determine is whether or not we're going to be mounting our blinds inside the window frame or outside the window frame. Most people do prefer mounting inside the frame if there's enough depth to the window. Now, each of our products requires a certain amount of mounting depth depending upon the product, and that information can be found on our product page. Typically, you need at least a minimum of 1 inch of mounting depth, but refer to the product page before making your final decision whether or not you're going to be mounting inside or outside. Okay, the first thing we will do is we'll determine the amount of mounting depth that we have on our window frame. So go up to your window and place your tape measure inside the window frame and see just how deep that window is. In this case, we have quite a bit of depth. We have 5 inches of mounting depth. This window will accommodate most of our products, I should say all of our products, mounted inside the window frame. Your window may have more or less depth depending upon how our house was constructed. So be sure and check out just how deep the windows are and check our product page to see how much depth is required to mount your particular blind. Once you've determined the depth of the window frame and you've come to the decision that you want to mount your blinds or shades inside the window frame, we're going to take our measurements. The first measurement we're going to take is the width, and we'd like to take that measurement in 3 places. I'd like you to measure the top of the window width from left to right. Record that measurement. We'd like you to take the center width. In this case, we have 34.5 inches. And we'd also like you to take the measurement of the bottom of the window. Okay, we'll record those 3 measurements, and we would like you to supply us with the smallest of those 3 measurements, rounded down to the nearest 1/8 of an inch. The next measurement that we'd like you to take is for the height. And again, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to measure the height on the left side of the window frame. We're going to measure the height in the center of the window. And we're going to measure the height on the far side or the right side of the window frame. In this case, we'd like you to provide us with the longest of those 3 measurements. Now, this is the way we'll measure any product except vertical blinds. Vertical blinds are measured a little bit differently, so as long as you're installing something other than a vertical blind inside the frame, that measurement will be just fine. If you decide to mount your blind on the outside of the window frame, okay, then we would recommend mounting either directly to your window casing, or if you don't want to deface your window casing, you can always mount just above the window casing. All right, if you don't have enough depth or you prefer to mount your blinds on the outside of the window frame, then we're going to ask you to measure your width from far edge of window casing to the far edge on the right side of the window casing. In this case, we're looking at about 41 7/8 of an inch. And that'll be the exact measurement that we'll ask you for an outside mount. If you'd like the blinds to overlap a bit on each side, you can provide us with a little bit extra width if you'd like, but it's not necessary. As far as the height goes, we usually ask you for the measurement from the top of the window casing to where you would like the blind to hang. Now, in some instances, some folks may have a windowsill on the bottom of the window where they'd like the blind to stop. In this case, there is no windowsill, so you may want to bring the blind down to the bottom of the window casing. In this case, I would have the blind hang to 54 inches. If you had a windowsill, I would stop the blind at the windowsill. If you prefer not to mount your blinds or shades directly to the window casing, like for instance in this case it's a decorative casing, you may not want to mount right on the window casing, I would add an additional 2 inches to the height so that we can mount the blind above the window casing on top. If you decide to mount your blinds above the window casing, be sure and order the optional spacer blocks when you check out on our website. That'll allow you to bring the mounting brackets away from the wall in line with the window casing so that the blind is not set back on the wall when you go to install it. Okay? And that's pretty much it. Good luck. And be sure and call if you have any questions. Mike from blindsonline.com.